this podcast, we are going to open this up to some questions that we asked the athletes earlier in the week. Some of you guys sent them on Instagram, some of you guys asked them in person. So these are just some questions we typically get, or that you guys want some answers to. So let's start this off. What supplements do we recommend? What are we recommending to our athletes?
Just your regular stuff. D-ball.
D-ball.
Test.
Oh.
Steroids. Any of those things.
No, he's
I'm
joking.
just kidding. We all know my drug test came back clean.
It has happened before in the gym.
Oh, man.
I remember that.
No shame. I'm not against it.
Quit!
I do remember that being a big question of myself when I first started, because I wasn't a big supplement taker, like at all. I didn't take anything at all, and I'm still don't do anything but creatine. I remember when I first came in, John was like, the only supplement I recommend is creatine, and make sure it's a monohydrate. And he was like, you're good. 5 grams a day is plenty, and that's the only supplement that I take, and then some Fairlife protein shakes, or the Driven protein shakes.
Let's talk about creatine, because I think that's a big one everywhere, not just in the CrossFit world. I think that's the most studied, it's been around, I guess, and they just do a lot of research on it, which is great. So let's talk about like what creatine is and why we recommend it, because I do think that that's one that we recommend, but we don't really recommend it until somebody asks. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something we're going to push down somebody's throat, but let's just talk about it.
Yeah. I think it depends on what your goals are, too. Creatine helps you recover and build muscle by the way of giving you more energy quicker. So it's not as effective, like from the studies they've done, it's not as effective for like low heart rate endurance. It's more effective for all-out bursts, sprints, strength training to failure, things like that. That's where it's effective, because it allows your muscles to have more energy to do more work and then recover more quickly. So that's where it can help you, and it can help you put on some muscle. But not like not like steroids where you're gonna be like this big bulky ogre. It just helps you recover faster and build muscle a little quicker. Is all it does.
I think some people have sometimes a misconception. They're
Big
like,
time.
"Oh, I think creatine's gonna make me 15 pounds bigger in 3 weeks," and it's like, no, that's not really what's gonna happen.
Does it make you hold water weight?
It does.
But
not.
I was reading a study on that actually this week, and there's a lot of mixed results on that. Initially, they said yes, but then after you're consistent with it, you'll lose that water weight. So overall, no.
Okay.
As long as you're taking it in the recommended dosage, which is like 5 grams a day or less.
Well, the 5 grams a day thing, like...
Depends on your body size.
Yeah, so like me and Kelsey would not need what you guys need, so
Right.
maybe 3 or 4 grams a day,
Yeah.
which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you know these things, but when somebody tells you, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this
Maybe
is
I
great.
need more because I'm not getting any bigger, John.
Well, like taking more, like taking 20 grams a day, which that used to be the thing, right? They said like to preload it.
Preloading phase.
For
they
2
talk about
weeks
those.
you take 20 grams a day.
Somebody just asked me about
That doesn't really make a difference. Come to find
a
out.
lot.
Yeah,
That is a
it is a
ton.
lot. Your body just won't absorb it and you just pee it out.
Yeah.
So-
Marketing.
Yeah,
Expensive,
100%.
expensive pee.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Creatine,
creatine monohydrate.
Not a
monohydrate.
must have.
Can you, for everyone else, what's the difference between if you were to get a creatine that was not monohydrate and a creatine that is?
Well, so from what I understand, and I haven't looked at a bunch of studies on this, but creatine monohydrate, your body absorbs it well because creatine's naturally in your body. But they said dihydrate came out, which is not very popular anymore. When it first came out, they marketed it as it won't make you hold water weight, which we kind of know is not true now. But then it also came out that the dihydrate actually isn't even absorbed at all in your body. You just pee it out. So you're wasting money with the dihydrate. So monohydrate's the only way to go.
Yeah, makes sense. Any other supplements? I know fish oil.
Yeah, omega-3s.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits.
There's a lot of benefits to omega-3s.
I think what our culture anyway is pretty low on fish.
Just
as
fatty
far
acids.
as far
Or,
as what we
yeah.
eat.
Fatty fish.
So it's those are pretty good anti-inflammatory for your joints, and then there's a lot of brain health.
I need brain health.
Yes, you do.
Something I read the other day, it said, which like pregnant women, you take a prenatal vitamin, but it said that adding the the omega-3s.
You need some brain health too.
I do need some brain health. It can help your baby, just like, I guess they've done, not studies on kids, but the women who take omega-3s while they're pregnant, their kids are just, like, their brain functions much better.
Yeah.
Not smarter, just better functioning overall. And I'm like,
Interesting.
yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Creatine too. We were reading about this. Is pretty good for brain health and function as well. They're actually doing
Yeah.
studies now with anxiety and depression, and saying
With
that
creatine.
shows a lot of positive effects for that as well. But that's still pretty new. So
Yeah.
like the verdict is not out completely,
These
but it's
effects
being
are not-
studied a lot now.
Because like COVID brain, that was a big thing, like the
Yeah.
fog that you get after COVID, and they said that creatine can help with that, because with postpartum women, like, or you hear pregnancy brain, you just don't have a brain anymore that functions well. They've said that creatine, there's been studies that have said that has helped the brain function. I'm like, oh, something that's out there.
I'm taking the wrong creatine. I'm still depressed and trying to get
Oh my gosh, she is not depressed. I want to say, can we count the element packets?
Yes,
Yeah.
we talked about that.
So,
Yes.
Sodium, magnesium, potassium. all
Yes.
those things.
If y'all haven't tried them yet, you should. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they are good.
I didn't think I'd really like them at first, but
They're so
after
good.
the first one, I was like, okay, I
They're
can get
very
used to this
salty.
saltiness. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to that too. I think
Yeah.
depending on how active you are though too.
Yes.
If you're like at a desk job all day, and then like this is the only activity that you do is come in here and work out, like I think one packet you're good. But
Yeah.
taking
And just see how
more-
much you're sweating.
Yeah. Taking more than one, especially on like in the winter months, which we're coming out of that, it's getting a lot hotter and we're getting
Sweaty.
We'll sweat a lot more.
Yeah. Plus, like, what you eat. Like, if you eat a lot of processed food with a lot of sodium,
Yeah.
you probably don't need
Yeah.
that. You can just take magnesium. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
For sure.
What about a lot of people are a big pre-workout people.
Yeah, I think it's
Caffeine.
preference.
None of us take pre-workout.
Yeah.
Y'all scoop a
think it
little
just-
beta-alanine every now and then.
Oh,
yeah,
I do like beta-alanine.
yeah. I like that. It makes me wake up. The tingliness.
I've actually not
Um,
taken that, because I think when you guys started really taking it, I was still nursing and I was
Yeah.
super
Oh, yeah,
scared.
that's
So
right.
I
Yeah.
have not
I took
taken that
pre-workout
yet. Yeah.
once, and it was just recently when I had to go to work after being up all night, and I took pre-workout, and it made me tingle.
I think you live like you're on
There are,
pre-workout.
yeah,
so you
there are
don't
some
need,
people that
I
just
don't need
don't.
it.
There's some
Yeah.
people that just don't need
Yeah.
caffeine of any sorts. Like
I've-
my pre-workout is coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just
I've
depends on
always-
how you feel. If it makes you have a better workout, then take it.
If it makes you tingly, if
you
it
don't
makes
like it,
you
don't take it.
anxious, don't take it.
All I
Yeah.
can think about is Brian.
Oh no.
Oh, gosh.
How dramatic he is with pre-workout.
But he drinks 3 monsters a day.
I mean, he used to.
He
I
told
cut
me
him off.
he tried to get me to take some pre-workout before when we did the gridiron games in Pell City. He was like, "Hey, take some
You did,
pre-workout." I was
didn't
like, "I've never taken
Look.
pre-workout. I'm not taking it before I do a
Yeah.
workout."
Yeah.
Don't do anything
Yeah.
you've never done right before a competition.
Yeah.
Never.
So I've never actually taken pre-workout before working out, like
Yeah.
just because I'm always amped up. I'm ready.
I just want to get it from coffee.
Yeah.
I like certain, like, I'll have an Alani Nu every now and then, not the pre-workout, but the energy drink, if I am not able to get coffee. But I'll always start with coffee.
A lot of pre-workouts are just caffeine anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about it a little, I think Shane did, protein. We always are going to recommend adding it into your diet, like just trying to eat more actual meat first. But having a protein shake is going to be, I think, key for most
It helps
people
for
to hit.
if you struggle to hit
Yes.
your
Which most
protein
people are
goals, then you can always add a shake in there. Like I've always added one in there because I do. It's hard for me to get 200 grams of protein.
We have like not 2 different types, but the casein is really good at night for the slow releasing. We don't talk about that as much as we used to, but
They don't taste as good, but
No, it doesn't
yeah,
taste as good.
yeah,
And I think it's a small part of the equation. Like worry about getting enough protein,
Yeah.
and then once you are,
Try to
switch that
manipulate
that
it a little
nighttime
bit.
one to casein. But
But yeah, those are the big ones that we
Yeah.
talk about: creatine, protein, element packets, and fish oil.
Those are the
There's some other ones out there. There's some great ones.
Yeah,
and
they're
definitely
definitely good.
test. But those are what we recommend.
Like, a big thing now is like hemp supplements. Is probably
Yeah,
a huge
ashwagandha.
thing.
A lot of people
CBD.
into stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is all great. If it works for you, it works.
I don't know much about. any
Yeah,
of that
some
stuff.
I
people
don't know
some
enough
people can
about it.
tolerate
Yeah.
it aware or
Tell us
well.
about your Delta 8 experience.
well. That's for another podcast.
We can all let's all take a Delta 8 and then come back to the
No,
podcast and let us know what our
no.
experiences
I will
were.
kill somebody. I'm
We'll
sure.
all be sitting here staring at each other.
I'd just probably be like, what?
Maybe
Let's
it'll
just
calm
say
me
you
down.
shouldn't be able to buy that over the counter at the gas station.
I agree. All right, next question. Should middle school, high school, college athletes train in your classes during their off season? I love this question. I think it's a very good question.
Who asked this question?
It wasn't Brian. It was. He did
I will
great.
say that I wish I could have been able to do it in my. I didn't have off seasons, but I wish I would have been able to have it as a
I'm
resource.
an athlete all the time. Y'all saw that? Y'all saw what I posted the other day with the basketball?
Okay, I didn't.
Athlete.
I'm just saying. That was just me new boot goofing. I was just. If I buckled down.
We talk about this, I think, a lot. I think that it depends. It says your classes, so we're just talking about Thello. I do think that as a whole, our coaching staff does a very good job of, because we've had a lot of athletes off season or even during season come in here when it's high school. I think that we do a very good job of accommodating for them.
Yeah.
But I will say I do think it's the athlete's responsibility to tell us, because we don't know that they're playing a sport, that we don't know all the time. Sometimes, yes, like after we get to know them, but if they're coming in here just off the street because they heard about a CrossFit gym, like they have to tell us like what sport they're playing, when their off season is, like positional things, and like we're not going to make it sport specific. We can outside of the classes, but this is specifically asking about our CrossFit classes.
And the goal of that athlete, right? If you're an athlete who wants to be the best athlete they can be in everything, I think it's very beneficial. But if you're maybe just a sport-specific athlete and you're trying to be the best basketball player or the best football player or the best whatever, and you train for that one sport only, then no, this might not be the most beneficial thing for you. Then you want to start getting to sport-specific. But if your goal is to be just the best overall, all-around athlete in every sport that you play, then I think it's pretty beneficial because we kind of hit all the things that make an athlete: power, explosiveness, speed. Like we hit on all those things when it comes to everyday programming.
Yeah. I think it depends. I think yes, you're spot on, Shane. Like the program that we do is going to make you stronger, faster, more explosive. We hit on all those things. It also depends on what the alternative is.
Yeah.
So like in the off season, if it's do nothing or come do this, absolutely, right? This is going to lay a good foundation for everything. And you also can't be peaking all the time. Like even if you're very specific in your sport, your baseball players are pretty specific, in what they do. You can't just peak all the time. You need a season of just laying a good foundation, overall strength, overall, range of motion in all your joints, maintain your speed, maintain your power, and then as you get closer to season, you go specific and pick that back up, and then you need the rest period time after where you just kind of maintain for a while. So again, if it's in the off season, I think this is a fantastic option of maintaining, being well-rounded, laying a good foundation that you can build off of as you peak going into the season. So I would say yes.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a good option because the mental aspect of it, like keeping you gritty, keeping you competitive.
Yeah.
You're not going to let that go. And I'm sure it's easy in the off season to just kind of take a break. You want to take a break from that, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think our classes are a good option for athletes.
I agree. So come to our classes, athletes. Come hang out with us. Okay, next question. Or anybody have anything else to say about that? All right, next question. Your take on saunas and their effectiveness. And then I added in there just cold exposure too, because we're
been a
we're into
big
that.
thing lately. I've
It
been
is
seeing a
big
lot of
lately.
stuff. I've been seeing ads everywhere for like at-home ice baths.
Your phone's listening.
It is.
They're a
Listening.
big thing. I'd love one.
I know.
a
I wish
sauna,
we had a sauna.
but-
I wish we had a cold plunge too.
Yeah, you can do, like, it's same effects as a sauna, a hot plunge, which is a bath. But it has...
It probably has to be at a certain degree, like probably a hot tub.
like a hot tub, but it has
Yeah.
a lot of the same effects as a sauna does. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, I just
Be
sit.
getting one
I just
soon.
sit in
I'll
my
come over to the
shower.
house.
taking a
You know,
bubble
I just
bath.
sit in the shower and let the hot air steam.
I can't fit in bathtubs, so hot tub is where I'm going. I'm
Our-
saving up for one right now, so if y'all want to come over and get the effects of a sauna in a hot tub,
Is
I
that
got
gonna
y'all.
get the girls over? Hey,
Huh?
I got a hot tub.
No. I mean,
Maybe.
maybe, okay?
Uh,
Put some lights
I definitely
out
think
there.
that they're effective. I think that
think
it
so.
it depends on kind of you as a person. You know what
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm trying to say. I know we've done a lot of looking at cold exposure stuff, and that can. I think it's super beneficial for your body, like overall.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just does so much for your brain, health, your muscles. But interesting, if after you do a workout, you should not do a cold exposure. Like it can make your muscles
not grow as
grow.
much.
Yeah, like it'll
hinders the
hinder.
adaptation.
Yeah.
It's going against what
6 hours. You should not do it within 6 hours. After that 6 hour mark of your like hypertrophy working out, then you can do.
It's actually beneficial beforehand though, which is weird.
Yeah.
But cold exposure.
How long beforehand?
I mean, can be pretty close. So, I mean, because cold exposure is gonna like spike adrenaline,
Right.
and adrenaline is very effective in a workout. So
It helps you move.
Is that why when I get
better.
cold,
It doesn't
I like
help-
to get all jittery and rub my hands together? And
I don't know.
Get all
That's
pumped
just
up.
that's just, yeah.
Just
Okay.
you.
I thought that was just the
Yeah, that's
adrenaline
interesting.
rushing through my veins.
I've done quite a few workouts and then jumped in the ice bath.
Yes, like that is what we
Which
were
is-
talking about the other day.
I mean, they do it at
Yeah.
the games.
college,
Yeah.
y'all. In college, we did crap like this, and I'm like,
So so like, I think it depends on the situation too. I think like the CrossFit Games, for example, they're trying to get their body temperature down as fast as possible so that they can get back to like a normal resting state. They're not so much worried about the long-term training. I need to get stronger. I need to let my body adapt to this stimulus.
during the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
I
they're
think
already
They're
at
not
their-
working
they should
out
be
at the
their
games
peak.
to get stronger and to get
Right.
better.
They're testing
there
at
to,
that point.
to just
Right.
compete.
This
Right.
is just like everyday training. Is
Right.
what we're talking about.
But if they were to do that every day right after their training, it's probably going to hinder their long-term strength gains or speed or whatever it may be immediately after.
Now saunas, the effectiveness of saunas.
All I know about saunas is that, like, you take athletes that maybe do, like, endurance type stuff, like Shane, like, say you did a workout in the morning and then in the afternoon you wanted to go back and, like, ride the bike for 45 minutes or whatever. You could almost get the same benefit as that 45-minute bike ride in the sauna. So, like, if you're extremely sore or something, you just want to hit up the sauna and sweat and like your muscles do the same. Well, your muscles aren't working, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your heart, like your cardiovascular system and stuff, it would almost do the same thing. So, I mean, I think it's good for your skin. I think it's good for
Yeah.
your mind.
Yeah.
I've heard that about metabolism too, like the
helps.
effect it has on
Yeah.
metabolism.
Yeah.
When if you get it up, your body temperature up to the point where like it's starting to sweat, even though you're not actually moving, you're just sitting there in the sauna.
Yeah.
It's going to kick in your metabolism.
Both of those cold
pretty
exposure
effectively.
and sauna,
Yeah.
because it's got your body's got to heat up.
And there's
in the
even
cold.
people who do both, like back to back. Like they'll jump in a sauna,
Yeah, Brian
then
used to do
jump
that.
in a cold plunge, back in the sauna, back in the
Yeah.
cold plunge, and they'll do that.
Yeah,
2 or
there's
3
definitely.
times.
I think there's benefits to
I
that.
don't know exactly, you know, the science behind that.
Yeah.
It's just
what's
shocking
going
your
on.
body,
Yeah.
shocking your muscles, kind of getting
good point.
things moving differently, I guess, or
Probably-
quicker.
Probably not a must-have. Also.
No.
No.
You
No.
know what I mean? Like
Like
I
John
don't-
said,
I
you
don't do any
can.
of these things.
Yeah, you can sit in a hot bath. You can sit in a hot shower, probably.
Yeah.
If you want to do a cold plunge, go to Germania Springs.
So I did
real cold
hear,
over there.
I did hear that if you're trying to memorize something,
Oh,
remember
yes.
something, like if you're studying for a test, study for like 30 minutes and go jump in the cold water, like a cold plunge, and it will help you remember.
So back in the day, they used to do this with kids.
Yeah.
What are these fables you speak
When
of?
kids
Makes
kids
sense.
were in school, they would teach them math, and then literally go dump a cold bucket of water on their head or put them in a cold trough type thing and then get them out.
I think there's
like
something else
it's
going
the
on
trauma.
there. I don't know.
It is,
Uh-huh.
but the trauma I feel like is a bit dramatic, but
It is, though.
but yeah, that trauma helps your body remembers that, but it also is going to remember the things that you were doing and thinking about and talking about around that event.
Yeah.
So if memorizing something like simply studying for a test was around that, you're going to remember it better.
Yeah.
That's I wish I would have known that in college.
All my
I
trauma
would have
didn't help
been
me with no tests.
taking ice baths all
I
the
remember
time.
the wrong things.
You always got to bring
Move
that
on,
in.
move
You
on.
got to always bring that in. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely something that we are for, but not necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, let's talk about the next one. How to incorporate cardio into your workouts without doing traditional cardio via treadmill. So I think that what he was asking, I think that he does not work out here. He's one of John's students. Is he a student in the JSU class? Or? Oh,
No,
okay.
he's at the school.
He's at the school.
Yeah.
So I think that he works out probably like 24 Fitness. I'm not sure where he works out,
Yeah.
just the way he asked this question. So how to incorporate your workouts. Now, obviously in here, a lot of this is cardio. You know, we do barbell cycling, we do stuff like that. But how to incorporate at a gym with machines.
Yeah.
And that's not a
So
CrossFit
he's
gym.
I think
he's lifts. I think the best way to incorporate cardio is finding something that you can superset a cardio movement with your strength. Like if you're bench pressing, okay, what is a movement that's high heart rate that I could do 10 or 15 reps at in between my sets of bench press? All right, and get back to it. So like, hey, I'm doing bench press. All right, well after my 8 reps of bench press, I'm gonna hop off the bench. I'm gonna do 10 burpees over the bench or something like that. That's a way to get your heart rate up and not let it settle. And then you get back to that bench with a little bit of a higher heart rate, and you go through 3 or 4 sets of that, and you've already done 60 burpees by the end of it if you were to do 10.
Yeah,
10 or
I
15.
think it's as simple as just keeping your heart rate elevated.
So timing.
Yeah, timing. So if you were to, even if you're just doing bench press, let's say you're supersetting bench press and curls or pull-ups. Right, pull-ups are better, I think, or chin-ups because there's a little more muscle involved. It's going to get your heart rate up a little more. But bench press, if you're doing significant weight or reps, which I think you should be, it's going to get your heart rate up. The reason it's not cardio is because you rest enough to get your heart rate back down, and so you're rested going into the next set, which you should be. However, if you set your rest times to like, I'm only going to rest a minute or maybe 2 minutes, or every minute on the minute I'm going to do this, or every 2 minutes I'm going to do this, your heart rate is going to stay elevated. So that's all cardio is. It's cardiovascular work.
Being elevated, yeah.
Keeping that heart rate elevated, and you really don't even have to do any cardio movements. And this is a lot of what we do, right? Mm-hmm. It can be just straight lifting with shorter rest time in between, and your heart rate's going to stay elevated.
Yeah.
Are your lifts going to suffer a little bit because of that? Yeah. But it depends on what you're training for. If you're training for hypertrophy, it doesn't matter really. If you're training for like speed and strength, you may want to not do the cardio with the lifting because it's probably going to hurt just a little bit there. But yeah, it just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like EMOMs.
EMOMs are
Every
great.
minute on the minute you do something, it needs to take up like 45 seconds of the minute.
I sent John a
Yeah.
good one this morning.
Oh, Lord.
Remember when y'all did your 40-minute EMOMs? back in
Yeah,
the
John
day?
stopped programming them. What the heck,
'cause you
dude?
got hurt. You
Well,
got
I'm
hurt.
ready to go now, John.
hurt.
Well, now you're
You
firefighting.
work all the time, bro.
Does not matter. I still make time.
Okay.
He don't have the time. He got
John,
kids.
make time. Come on, dude. The kids, they're second priority.
Shane's number one.
Oh my gosh.
I'm the oldest child.
That's like, Shane's like a kid.
I will say at a Globo gym though, the stair climber is by far the best cardio ever. I mean,
Yeah.
you get on that thing 2 minutes
And-
in, my heart rate goes to 155.
Well, my legs feel like jello. I remember I had to do it for the CPAT for the fire department, and that was like 3 minutes on it, and then I had to get off, and I was like, whoa.
You can't hold the handles.
And I had to do it. No, you can't. We weren't
you gotta-
allowed. You couldn't touch the handles, and you had to wear, I think it was 60 pounds of
I don't suggest
weights.
Whew, unless you're going to firefighting school, don't do that.
John, get on my back. No, let's go to the stair climber. John's
That would
about
be
60
horrible.
pounds.
that. This is dope.
Yeah.
Feels
Oh my
about 60
gosh,
pounds.
that would be horrible. Okay, favorite form of exercise outside of the gym. What do we like to do?
Frisbee.
Oh,
I
That's
love
great. That's
ultimate
great.
frisbee because it's also it works on speed, endurance, change of direction. You know, it works on a little bit of athleticism outside of what we do in the gym. You know, here I get to focus on power, strength, explosiveness. Out there I work on quickness, lateral movement, being fast, being athletic, jumping. You know,
And you're having fun.
I think any
and you have fun.
sport,
Yeah,
any sport is
that you
fantastic.
enjoy.
Yeah, just enjoying it, being outside.
And what about basketball, Shane?
I mean, I like a little b-ball too. I'm
Y'all
just
want the
saying,
video,
if
just
y'all
let
are
me
judging
know.
by the video of my skills, just know I'm like Dennis Rodman. Okay, I'm getting every rebound.
You're nothing.
Did you just say who is
You're
that?
nothing like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I get every rebound and I play lockdown defense.
You're out there playing
And
yourself.
I pass it off. 10
You're out there playing
rebounds,
by yourself.
10 rebounds, 10 assists.
Okay, so that was you passing it off and not trying to shoot into the...
I told you, new boot goofing. Tossing around, just having a little bit of fun. You know, you gotta have fun in your sport. It can't
Oh,
be.
I agree. That's what I said. Okay.
But if you stand under that rim, guess what? You're gonna get dunked on. Any three of y'all.
Okay, we
Any three of
saw the
y'all.
video you dunked it and you missed.
It bounced out. That happens
means you
sometimes.
missed.
It bounced out.
My favorite form of exercise outside of the gym, I enjoy running. I know we do that in the gym too, but I do enjoy like long distance running, and then just doing stuff at our house outside. I know that's not like exercise.
It is.
Like yard work.
Yard work. I love
Yeah.
being outside.
Yeah, there's a difference between exercise and physical activity,
Yeah.
even though they're very close. And physical
Yeah.
activity is almost
Yeah.
more important.
Well, that's why
You
we
know,
do
like-
stuff, so we can do the physical
Right.
activity outside of our house.
Yeah. So
But I guess that, and I mean, I enjoy. We've been playing. Who was it? Who was I with the other day? Oh, I was at Tyler and Sarah's house and playing soccer with their kids, and like I was having such a good time, just outside playing and just goofing off. I enjoy that.
Mine's walking. Just walking.
Just
Yeah.
reminiscing on them soccer days, huh?
I miss them. I miss them so much.
Yeah, you still can't kick a ball over your head though.
I can't kick it. Wait, what?
That little backwards kick.
Oh, the
that little cartwheel kick.
the
You can't do
rainbow
it.
that
Can't
nobody
do it.
does. in a
Did you
game.
see my picture? Y'all go look at my Instagram. I got a picture of me doing a backflip on there with my soccer ball.
Are you pulling it up for us?
Yeah,
right now?
but there's a
Yeah.
pad under you. There's a pad under you.
They don't know that.
There's a pad under her. She didn't really do that.
I mean, I did it and fell on the pad.
Don't count.
Why didn't it count?
You
I take a
didn't
lot of pictures of
endure
my
any
kids.
pain from that.
Oh,
You shouldn't. If you land properly, you shouldn't have pain anyway.
Well, if you land properly, you don't need a mat, I guess,
Ooh,
right?
that's my very first
the
one.
first
Look
one.
at that. Look at that. Look at them leg muscles back in the day.
My legs are bigger than
You
that.
surely can.
I know. I guess it was in
gonna
August.
need you-
Yeah.
That's a
Summer.
cool picture.
I'm gonna need you to send me
That was when I was
so I
outside
can
all the
I can
time.
put it on the video of the podcast.
Okay, I will.
Yeah,
Right here.
Post it.
Brady will clip it in right now.
Yeah.
it's a cool picture. I'm just kind of jealous I don't have a picture like that.
We can take them. Lydia, you ready for a photo shoot?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Give us your best soccer kick.
John, did you answer?
I did.
Okay, we're good.
He
We're
chases
good on that.
chickens for his
I
cardio.
said, well, I didn't say. I guess I
What did you do that?
Come here, chickens! Or he gets on the mower and tries to hurt him in.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's not very much exercise.
Yeah, what was it Shane tried to tell us? This was a while ago, and he said
Of
that
course, there's only one.
he was saying that he does a lot of exercise. He's outside always cutting grass. I was like, you sit on a mower. You don't push. You are
weed eater,
sitting.
though.
Stability.
Hey, yeah,
that
weed
weed
eating.
eater.
Yeah, they think I'm playing. My whoop picks up hockey every time I weed eat.
Air hockey.
Hey, I push mode the other day. I push mode the other day and I thought I was mountain biking. I guess because I was like,
That's awesome. All right, we have answered this one before, but I did get this question earlier this week.
I did too.
Yes, probably by the same person. When is it best to have a protein shake before, after, or during? Kelsey, I'm going to let you answer this because you've answered this. You've talked about this a lot in like the time frame of things. But yeah, I'll let you answer or start with this.
So, I mean, you can take protein whenever. Like, it just depends on your calories and whether you're trying to get more protein. But if you're planning it around your workout, you probably should drink it, 30 to 90 minutes after your workout. So, spend 30 minutes after your workout just bringing your body back to homeostasis. And then, once you're there, you can take your protein shake, like I said, 30 minutes or 90 minutes. You can wait up to 90 minutes. The longer you wait, the longer your muscles break down. And, if you're trying to make your muscles bigger, then I would wait as long as possible. If you're not trying to make your muscles bigger, but still trying to be strong and healthy, then 30 minutes is your time. But like I said, you need protein all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like this morning, I haven't worked out or done anything, but I had protein in my oatmeal just because I'm trying to like make sure I get protein, carbs, fat in a meal. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Protein.
Yeah. I think that too, the before or during, because I remember when I first started CrossFit, there were some people that would drink a protein shake during like lifts, which
RP
like,
did that.
yes, I guess that's what she followed was RP. And like when you're lifting, it's not that high heart rate, like what they were doing. Like, you know, they were working on like snatches and cleans and just like building in weight. So, I mean, your heart rate was high, but it wasn't like a typical Metcon where you're all over the place. I don't recommend during here. Like, you're going to throw up is the issue. Not because it's bad. Like, you need the protein.
Challenge accepted.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. And then like right before, I think like Kelsey said, it just depends on when you're working out. Like if you're not working out until the afternoon, yeah, take a protein shake before, like in the morning.
But then also make sure you get protein after you work out.
Yes, for sure.
And that could be a source of food. Like if you work out at 4:30 and you get done at 5:30 and you know you're going to eat dinner at 6. If you're going to eat dinner at 6, then there's your protein. You know what I mean? You don't have to have your shake and then eat protein. Like I said, if you need it in your macros, like if you're like, hey, I'm at 100 grams of protein and I need to get to 160, you're going to eat dinner with some chicken, 30 grams of protein, and then you need to have your protein shake, and then that's 30 more grams, and you've met your goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Protein, everybody. Get it.
It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Okay. How many times a week should someone do CrossFit or Ignite classes? I know when we talked about this, I think it just depends on goals, depends on your lifestyle. Don't stress out if you can't get in here. If you can't get in here 5 days a week, don't stress out about it. Do something.
Your recovery. How well do you recover?
Yes, like how, and that goes back to protein, how much protein you eat to help yourself recover. But yeah, like if you are, which I think that there's another kind of question, which I guess, well, no, we'll go to that one. But yeah, how well you feel. If you're not feeling super recovered that day, either telling the coach and making sure you're going lighter or cutting things in half or doing something else, go on a walk, go on a run.
I think it's a good thing to also tell us how you feel, because maybe newer athletes can't quite distinguish between being hurt and being sore.
Mm-hmm. You do that.
What? I just work out.
You
however.
don't know what's happening.
No, I don't, and I just work out and do it. No, it doesn't matter. I could be hurt. I could be sore. I don't know which one it is, but we'll find out by the end of the day.
Find out on the MRI.
It's been a bad year.
But yes, I do think it just depends on your lifestyle. Don't stress out about not being able to come to the gym. I think a lot of people, myself included, used to be that way. If I wasn't working out 5 days a week, I wasn't getting better. Or 6 days a week, 7 days a week, I was not getting better. But there's just times where I can't, and I'm not going to stress out about it, and I'm going to do something else. I'm going to take the kids on a walk with the stroller,
I think it's good to, if you feel like your body's tired, you're worn out, it's okay. Like, if you only went 3 days this week and you feel like it beat you up and you're like, I don't know if I can go today, I think that is probably more beneficial than actually going. Shane, you should take your own advice.
Well, I agree with that, but I do think they should do something.
Yes.
Like, I think something
active recovery is
something is better than nothing.
Like, Kelsey, you like to walk, and like you said, maybe you go walk the kids in the stroller, just as simple as that. Mm-hmm. Just walking maybe a mile or just something to get your heart rate up a little bit, get your muscles moving, blood flowing.
I think it's really individualized.
Very individualized.
Like, if you're not okay, mentally with taking an off day, that's fine. Mm-hmm. And if you want to come to the gym because you're like, oh, my friends are there and I want to go work out, but I'm really sore, we'll come and just go light. Now, you do have to get over your ego of, okay, I'm going light and everybody else is seeing that, and normally I would go heavier on this, and get over yourself there. But yeah, you can still come work out and just kind of halfway do it in a good way. I think you need that. Take an off day, but still going through the motions. If you're coming 6 days a week, you're probably going to have a day or two during the week that's going to be like that. Like that's just that's just the way it is. You can't go all out every single day,
Or you get hurt.
Or you quit.
You run the risk of getting. You better take your recovery very seriously if that's the case, and most of us are not. So, just pay attention to how your body feels and base it off of that. I do program for people to come every day if they want to, or they can come and go all out on any given day. So I don't program. We used to active recovery days, like Thursdays were active recovery, and that's great if everybody's coming 6 days a week. But I would say 15% of gym members come 6 days a week. So I don't want you to be gone on a business trip for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and come back Thursday. You're like, I haven't worked out in 5 days. I am so ready to get after it. And then you come in and it's active recovery. And you're like, well, this sucks. So I don't want that. So you kind of have to take responsibility and do a little bit of active recovery sometime for yourself. Base it off how you feel. Go through the motions. You don't have to come to the gym. If you need, if you feel okay about staying at home and just doing something active and recovering there, that's fine. Or come to the gym and just go light.
We've had a lot of people lately, I feel like, come in because they want the community and see their friends aspect, and they just sit on the bike the whole time people are working out. Now, like, they're like an extreme soreness situation. But yeah, they're just sitting on the bike hanging out. Because I do think that the community, I hate missing. Because I don't like not being able to come in the afternoon sometimes because I'm like, I want to miss my friends. I miss seeing people. So yeah. That's our answer on that one.
I'm going to go to the bathroom before you ask this question because I'm going to throw a barbell at somebody.
Do you want me to ask this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll ask this one. You're ready for this one?
Yeah.
Okay, go to the bathroom. I'll ask this one. You go to the bathroom, and then we'll ask this one when you come back.
No.
Oh. I guess we're just gonna talk. We're gonna talk for just a second.
That question. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
She doesn't
Oh, you want me to ask it while you're gone?
answer
I got you.
this
I got you.
question.
Okay. Will I get bulky doing CrossFit classes? I think all of us have heard this too many times, and it is very frustrating.
2 years into CrossFit and I'm 5 pounds bigger.
I think we hear it mainly from women typically. And I know that, John, you're about to say some stuff about this, but the biggest thing, like, women are not men. We are not built like men. We cannot get muscles like men unless you're taking steroids or doing something else. Now, we look at the CrossFit Games women. Those are the elite women in our sport. And if you look at them on TV, sure, they have larger arms. We associate that with being manly. But if you see them in person, they're just super ripped. Like, they're not any bigger than me and Kelsey. They're just really, really ripped. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Very low body fat percentage.
Yeah, super low body fat. I need some omegas. But yeah, you talk about it, Johnny.
Yeah, I think you have to define first what bulky looks like. And I guess everybody has a different definition of that. But it comes down to body fat percentage for women. If you don't want to be super, super lean, which I would say most people would like to be leaner versus the opposite, then, you can just eat a little more, but you're not going to get bulky as far as like bulging muscles, like Hulk-like muscles. Unless you're a girl that had, abnormally high testosterone, which is like possible, but it's a very big outlier there. That's not going to happen. And yeah, if you feel like the one that I would say the one muscle that girls don't like that I think sometimes does happen is your traps. You don't want big traps, right? Big shoulder muscles. Well, if that's the case, then go lighter on the movements that.
If you're one that builds those muscles quickly.
If you build those muscles quickly and you're like, oh man, I feel like my traps are getting big and I don't like it. Okay, well then just kind of work around that and avoid that a little bit. It is way more in your head than you think it is, but you're not going to get bulky.
We can't.
You can't. Like,
Women
you can't.
can't.
Women can't get bulky.
Unless you're taking some steroids.
Yeah.
I like a good trap muscle.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I'd like my arms to look like those CrossFit Games athletes.
Yeah. So, and you can also, like, tailor the workouts.
I like my chest to look
for
like
and
theirs.
What?
My chest.
Did you say you'd like your chest to look like the CrossFit Games women?
No, not the women. The guys.
I mean,
Yeah. Shane, you're
Y'all are
losing it,
crazy.
bro.
The guys, of course. The guys
Yeah.
chest.
Say it again.
The guys chest, not the women's.
Two, it is. I mean, like it is possible for women to put on a pretty good amount of muscle if you're really, really intentional, and that's the key word. You have to be very intentional through the way you eat, the supplements you take, and the exercises that you do, like strictly for hypertrophy. What we do is not going to do that. We don't do enough of volume, even though it might seem like it sometimes, enough volume to get you really big and bulky. So where it's going to stress those muscles enough. And plus diet plays a huge role. So if you want to, kind of blame anything on bulkiness or credit anything to bulkiness, I think diet would be a bigger factor than your actual workout program.
Yeah. I think people see CrossFit Games athletes or just elite athletes, and they just have that in their head.
TV makes them look way
yeah,
bigger.
because I remember when we first saw them in person, I was like, oh, they're smaller than I like. They're just small.
Yeah,
Like,
going
they're
out Rich
very-
Froning and took a picture next to him. I look massive compared to him.
They're very,
Yes,
they're very ripped.
very, very
Yeah.
ripped. They're just not as they don't look like ogres. I know you referred to that earlier.
Yeah, like the average guy is they look huge on TV. I think the average height of a male CrossFit Games athlete is 5'8", maybe 5'9". I'm bigger than the average CrossFit Games athlete, and
That's
I'm not a big
unit, John.
Shut
You're
up.
just an absolute unit.
All right, we can have that discussion later. All right, anything else about bulkiness?
No.
Trying
Alright.
to get bulkier.
All right, what do I need to eat to tone up?
Ooh.
We've discussed this a little bit. I think we can refer back to
Less. Is that an answer?
less.
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 Exactly what I was gonna say.
I think that our protein podcast and our fats and carbs kind of answers this. But yeah, less.
Yeah, I would say simple answer is protein intake should be high to maintain your muscle, because that's what looks good is muscle, like curvature and all that. We like the way muscles look, but you need to be able to see them. So in order to get rid of that, the fat that's outside of the muscles, eat less of things that are not protein. And think about it. Protein is structure for your body. Fats and carbs are energy for your body. When it has too much, it creates fat stores. That is what fat around your muscles is. It's just energy. So eat less energy, because you've already built up enough energy in your body, and then you're going to get rid of those. And then you'll be able to see your muscles, which by definition is toning up.
You so smart,
Simple
John.
enough?
Simple enough.
Yeah, maybe walk a little bit more.
Yeah.
Get some more daily steps in.
Right. That's going to increase the total calories that you use throughout the day, which is definitely going to help. And there's some more practical ways, to do that. Like walking is I'd say a relatively easy way to do that. But just staying active in general.
Like we have a lot of people that have desk jobs in here, and I've encouraged a couple of them, every 30 minutes, get up, do some air squats, take a walk down the hall. I don't know their setup, but go up and down the stairs a few times, just move.
As
Get that
far
heart rate up
as
into the
eating,
hundreds every
what do you
once in a while.
think are good? They're saying what can you consume? What are maybe 2 or 3 foods you could eat that are better?
Cottage cheese.
Oh.
I still need to try it. I just haven't.
I have.
It's so good.
But like Kelsey said, she had for breakfast this morning oatmeal with protein in it. Easy. Protein, high protein. Protein shake.
There's such thing as eating lean. You can eat. Lean.
That's just eating less calories. So, a lean food is a food that is large in volume, as in you're looking at it or holding it, and it's a pretty good bit of food, but it doesn't have that much calories in it. A not lean food would be like peanut butter. There's a large amount of calories in peanut butter in a very short, small quantity. 1 spoon of peanut butter, and you're talking hundreds of calories. So that would be something maybe you should stay away from.
You should probably eat more of it.
Hey, I've been for dinner the other night.
Oh god.
Apples, peanut butter, 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, 3 boiled eggs.
That was your dinner?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a
For
good
sure.
dinner.
I feel like that should be
not
a
terrible.
snack.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's that many calories. It's
That
a lot of
was like-
calories.
The
but-
two
There was
peanut
a-
butter and jelly sandwiches.
I guess it
included.
depends on how much
Less
peanut
less
butter.
peanut butter and apples. And on that peanut butter, that's a spoonful of peanut butter on a slice of apple. So I probably
Yeah,
had.
you probably
I
had
guess it's probably not what we
probably
would
close
eat.
to 1,000 calories in that meal.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I used to do when I was tone? We'll quote that. I would put cauliflower rice in my oatmeal to make me think that I'm eating more. It would fill me up longer. You know what I mean? But the whole bag of cauliflower rice was 50 calories.
I mean, that's not a bad strategy.
But if it's mentally helping you, you know
whatever
what I mean?
whatever works.
Yeah.
Like
That's smart.
yeah, like pickles. They're
So good.
most pickles have 0 calories. And you're like, what am I eating if it's no calories in a cucumber? And vinegar doesn't either. But that can fill you up and get you by if you're trying to consume less calories. So that's not a bad way to go.
Celery.
When you buy your pickles in the cold section. Don't buy them in the hot section.
What? Why?
You can get like really good gut benefits if you buy them in the cold
Didn't
section.
know that.
I like
Me
the cold,
either. It's like
cold
kefir,
brand anyway.
sauerkraut, stuff like that. It has really good stuff for your gut.
That's interesting.
I know, and I'm like, daggone, we're not buying from
I
the hot
always
section
refrigerated
anyway.
my pickles anyways.
But I know,
What
I think
did
they
you
have to
just say?
stay. They
I
have to
always
stay.
refrigerated my pickles anyways.
I thought he said he never refrigerates them.
Please do after you open it.
It's gonna be really hard to know, like, if you're doing it right without tracking your calories.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah.
Well,
For sure.
to some extent, at least be conscious
Aware.
of it,
Yeah.
aware of it,
Yeah.
and
But if
know
you've never done it,
Yes,
you
track
don't
it.
know.
you should do it
track
at
it.
least once or twice.
If you
Sure.
haven't tracked for like a year consistently, you don't know what you're eating.
I agree.
I need to start doing it
You
again.
don't
Like
know how
weighing
much
it
you're
and
actually
everything,
taking in.
yeah.
Yeah, it's worth
You gotta get
doing just so
comfortable.
you're aware, and then after that you can kind of drop it.
Yeah.
But it does take a little bit of work to be aware of it. I do think too, and I know there's something to this with micronutrients and things like that, but there's really, or at least you shouldn't be worried about it. There's really no such thing as fat burning foods. Like there are some things that like help your body process fat better and convert it back to energy that you're going to use. So I'm not saying that doesn't exist, like antioxidants in fruit. Like, yeah, that helps. But it's not a fat burning food. Your body is
Like
going to
superfood.
burn fat when it doesn't have enough energy to do whatever you're wanting to do. And if it doesn't get that from your diet, it's going to pull from your fat stores, which if you're trying to lose fat is what you want. So the fat burning foods are kind of a scam.
What about belly fat burning ab exercises?
Yeah.
Hey, we
So-
can do some abs with some igniters
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I want
that-
it to specifically burn the fat on my belly.
So
Let's
That-
do it.
that you can't really burn fat just in one place and not other areas of your body. It doesn't work like that. So body fat, when your body needs to convert it to energy, it takes body fat from all over your body, puts it back into your bloodstream, and then pushes it around your body to your muscles. So it's not like, oh, I'm only working my abs and doing all these crunches and it's going to burn this fat. You can't do that. You can't convert fat straight into muscle. It goes back into your bloodstream and pumps throughout your body again. So that doesn't work. The reason why you feel like, man, my belly's still there, but the rest of my body's getting lean is because your belly, for 90% of us, holds more body fat than the rest of our body. So ratio-wise, if you lose, let's say, 5% body fat, well, you're still going to have ratio-wise the same amount of body fat relative to your, let's say, arm fat that you did before. And so looks-wise, you look in the mirror, you're like, dang, I don't really see that much of a difference, because it's not a drastic difference between your belly and the rest of your body, because the rest of your body lost fat. Even though your belly lost fat, you don't really see it. So you just have to keep doing what you're doing and just stick to the process, lose more body fat, and just keep going, and eventually you will lose that body fat. But it's stubborn. There's a reason why they say stubborn belly fat. It's gonna
Consistency.
consistency.
Key.
Yeah, most
I don't
people
want to hear nothing out of you.
most people
Why?
give up because they don't feel like their belly fat's going away.
You ain't got no belly fat.
I've been working on it. I gained a little bit of chub.
Whatever.
That's why I'm doing abs with the igniters. Burn that stubborn belly fat.
We just talked about that's not the case. It doesn't work.
I'm just saying you could still work on your muscle.
So-
I'm trying to
Don't
get a stronger core. You get a stronger
You do get a
core
stronger
by
if you're doing
working
it
your
right.
abs.
If you're doing it the right way, 100%.
Keep that lower back on the ground.
And you've got to breathe, and you've got to make sure you're getting those deep ab muscles. I can't wait for this postpartum talk.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
The deep ab muscles we've talked
Not
about.
those top ones, those surface ones. Like doing little crunch, that ain't gonna do nothing for you.
It
It might make them look okay, but you gotta get those deep ones. It's gonna help with everything else.
I do.
Your
I do
lifts,
more than just
you know how
crunches.
your lower back hurts all the time? It's because your abs, you can see them. Oh, good for you. But deep inside there, ain't got nothing.
Deep in there. I worked hard for those abs.
You know, you have a pelvic floor. Did you know that?
I didn't.
All right, I can't wait for that discussion. All right, next question. This is a great one. We talk about this often. When you're sore, what's the best take on what to do? We kind of talked on this a little bit. Is it to rest? Is it to continue with this program? What is it? I know we kind of hit on this a little bit, but we can talk about it a little bit more. Shane hit on it well. Like sore is, or John, I don't remember. Sore is relative to the individual. Making sure you know the difference between being sore and being hurt. Let's say that we did a bunch of glute dominant exercises and your husband or your spouse or whoever goes and smacks you on the butt and it literally like kills you. You should consider a rest day. You should consider not working out your butt for a little while. You know, like if it's hurting super bad by just like a graze of your booty.
But if you're just having trouble getting up the stairs, you work out.
If you bend over and drop something and you're like, oh, I'm a little sore. Like, yeah, you want to be a little sore, but you can probably still do something.
Yeah.
Maybe not hitting those muscles totally, but that incorporate those muscles.
Yeah.
If I'm sore, I'm working out because
it does help.
Like
it,
I said,
it is shown
it depends
to
on
help.
the person.
Right.
Like me personally, if I'm going from personal experience, if I'm sore, I'm gonna work out because I feel better afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like days that I come in here, I mean, I've talked to John like, holy cow, my legs are wrecked this week. But I'll come in here and usually Monday we do our squat program. People are usually pretty sore after that, but then Wednesday or Thursday we're doing another leg exercise. We're still pretty sore, but it's usually like a bike and wall balls or something like that. Not super high intensity, but it flushes out those muscles, kind of clears some of that lactic
Bike
acid
and wall balls is high intensity
out of
to me.
those-
I die.
out of those legs, and it makes me feel better
Depends
afterwards.
on how hard you go. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it just really
It
depends.
just all
on the
depends.
Yeah,
person.
for sure.
And that's not a very straightforward answer, but it really is individualized.
It's very individualized.
Personally, I like to work out.
I think mentally,
Yes,
most of us
mentally.
should, come back and work out because it makes us feel better and we like being here, like we already said. But
And I do think we have done a really good job. Kelsey, I think, did it a year ago or told us wanted to implement this into the hour long that we have everybody, but stretching after, like doing a cool down walk, stretching. Sometimes we are able to lead it as coaches, the stretching part. We definitely always encourage a cool down, but the stretching part of it, sometimes we can offer it where it's coach led, and then other times like we just have to go to the next class. But stretching, like, just trying to work through that a little bit.
And if you need ideas like, of stretching, like you get done with a workout and you're like, oh, I'd like to stretch that muscle, and the coach is in it. Well, when they got just a spare second, just be like, hey, what are some stretches I can do?
And not taking forever
To
on
do
stretches.
this.
I do
Yeah.
want to talk about that. Not like literally spending an hour on stretches.
yeah, that's
No.
not necessary.
15 minutes.
It
Or
stretching
just stretch your
makes-
hip flexors, stretch your, like, the things that tend to get locked up. Your lower back tends to get locked up. Like, let's move it a little bit, you know. Dynamic stretches are great.
Moving just helps you feel better.
Yeah.
Whether you're sore or not.
Yeah.
You just need to move frequent.
Yeah. Any exercise is good exercise.
Yeah, like I remember, like I said, I told y'all that one week where I went like 5 days without doing nothing, my body hurt more then than it ever has.
We hear that often. We
Motion
hear.
is lotion.
Yeah.
What the heck? That is not good.
I have not ever heard you say that.
You move better.
He
If
has.
if
You
you
have said that.
I'm a little
You have
scared.
said that. He said it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's
You know, we're going
it's
to do
your
a
body's
podcast of
lubricant.
just you two one day. Me and Kelsey are just going to not be here.
Just gonna sit back.
That
Yeah,
could be
we're
part of
just-
our
we'll
bro
sit on the
day.
couch.
We can do a bro day
And we're just going to
podcast.
laugh at y'all because of the things y'all say.
Y'all can bring Brian.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
Brian would be real fun.
Motion lotion's pretty good.
Okay. So, are there anything else that y'all can think of that athletes tend to ask you? Just like random questions or questions we typically tend to get. I mean, this hit a lot of them. Hit the ones that we were asked specifically.
I like the questions.
Yeah,
you know?
this was fun. We'll try to do like questions every couple of months
Yeah.
because we know things kind of come back up. But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's a wrap on this one.
Yeah. Good work.
Yep.
See you in the gym.
Gym.